So Gretchen's reaction on this. All right. We need to move back a little, no? Karen, I'm heartened by the fact that just yesterday, I think, Secretary Remulla did clarify when he was asked if there was basis now to say that there's strong basis to say that Gretchen is a suspect. He did, I think, take care to declare that the only reason Gretchen Barreto is being investigated and is considered a suspect is because she has been named by the supposed whistleblower. Whether or not the allegations as against Ms. Barreto are true or not is, of course, a totally different matter. My understanding is that the status of the case right now is still case build-up. I don't even know if Mr. Whistleblower's affidavit has been completed. I understand that he may still be growing his story, he may still be embellishing it. But what I do understand is that there might not have been yet a preliminary assessment of the affidavit of Mr. Whistleblower taken as a whole. As you know, under the new rules now, there is a process where there is a case build-up before you file the case. There's a preliminary assessment and a second assessment if that is necessary. And Secretary Remulla has taken care to say everything is being vetted, which is exactly what has to be done. And the fact of the matter is that the witness should not only be credible, but his allegation should also be credible. Now, going back to your question, we have to understand that Mr. Whistleblower came out with his supposedly sensational revelations last week. He started by not naming, being very cryptic, just teasing revelations about the supposed involvement of a celebrity, an actress, and then finally coming up with the name of Miss Barreto, but making it clear that the only reason he was saying she was involved was because she was an alpha member. And therefore, being an alpha member, she must know something. She also said, meron siyang dapat alam dahil napakalapit niya kay Mr. Atong Ang. Subsequently, just late last week, he further elaborated on the supposed involvement of Ms. Barreto. He did not start out with the raising of hands, Karen. I've been listening. Of course, we've been monitoring. He just mentioned a meeting, not identifying who were there, were supposedly the matter of voting on carrying out the plan on the killings were discussed. And then later on, he further embellished that by saying, oh, bigla na lang ngayon, nagtaas raw ng kamay. My reaction, it's so ridiculous. Napaka-absurd. Saan ka naman nakakita ng isang criminal conspiracy kung saan lahat ng mga kasama supposedly ay nandun sa isang meeting, dinidiscuss mo openly yung pagpatay, tapos magbobotohan pa kayo, may showing of hands. So, it's ridiculous, it's so absurd, hindi siya makatotohanan, it's illogical, it's contrary to human behavior. First, is the allegation credible? No. On its face, you know it cannot be believed, no? But it is, of course, sensational. Ang gandang pakinggan, wow. The image of all these people gathered, where, when, what, how, kailan. Secondly, as I said, I mentioned, it is an embellishment. If this had in fact happened, it's so sensational, so important that he would have said so from the very beginning, but no. All he resorts to in trying to involve Ms. Barreto from the beginning was just to say, malapit siya, insinuating something else. Malicious speculation. Thirdly, even in this fantasy world, even assuming that it was true somehow, which is not the case, that some people said, yes, I agree, let's carry out the plan. You know, the consent to carry out a plan, to carry out a crime is not in itself yet at that point criminal. You know, there must be essentially an overt act. Kailangan meron kang gawin to further carry out that plan. The reason being, a declaration of intent is hardly equivocal. Ibig sabihin nun, usually those intentions are ambiguous. They can be subject to multiple interpretations. So it's not the basis. Kailangan meron kang gawin. And this is in fact not the case. And fourthly, just to show it's an embellishment, hindi mo napansin, Karen, meron siyang sinabi, namimili siya. So he was asked, sino ba yung mga nandoon? Sabi niya, meron pero yung mga mababait lang. Yung mga mababait hindi ko isasama. So bakit ba si Miss Barreto hindi mabait? So kung tingin niya isang tao mabait, hindi niya isasama. So it touches on the credibility of the allegations itself. Even by itself, the allegations are obviously untrue. Deliberately sensational, I suppose, to create some kind of sustained interest, because after all, he has said Ms. Barreto is just one of many other Alpha members. Bakit si Ms. Barreto? Kasi sa aking palagay, mas interesting yung kaso kung ganon.
Okay. Attorney Mallonga, what does Ms. Barreto understand of being identified as an Alpha member? Ano daw yun? Did you ask her?
Yes, ang pagkakaintindi ko, nakatulad rin na explain yata ni Secretary Remulla, na yung Alpha member is a category of being an investor. Hindi ko alam, it was interesting to me na merong sinasabi si Secretary Remulla na may B, may Charlie pa, meron pang Delta. I do not know that. We do not know that. All I understand is that the interest of Ms. Barreto is just like some others, many others. She invested.
Did she invest? Did she really invest money?
Yes. To have an interest, she was invited, and so she did. And I understand that ang Alpha member, mas malaki lang siya ng konti yung returns compared to B. I don't know about C or D. And by the way, Mr. Whistleblower, my understanding that he's also an Alpha member. He's also, I think, a member of Group B. That's what he was saying. Mayaman siya. Karen, he admits, yumaman siya dahil sa business. So hindi ko lang maintindihan dito to put something, some insidious meaning to that. To be clear, Ms. Barreto is not involved in the operations of the business. Wala siya doon. So if you ask her anything about what's going on, hindi niya alam. But of course, you see her. She's not been shy about going out and being videoed, participating in the events. She participates in this event.
Okay.
Yes.
But Attorney Mallonga, I think we have to go back to the days of Isabong because it would be a disservice to our viewers.
Yes.
It almost sounded like an open secret. And I'm sorry to have to bring this up, but it was almost an open secret publicly that there was a relationship between Mr. Atong Ang and Ms. Gretchen Barreto during the period of Isabong, and there were photos, videos of them together. So by alias Totoy insinuating what he did, ang tatanungin ng publiko kasi, insinuation ba yun? Or talagang nakita niya? Kasi he, in the interview with the reporter, he in fact said, not even an insinuation, he said natutulog sila sa isang kama. Diba? That's not an insinuation. That's a direct statement. Natutulog sila sa isang kama. And I can't find it right now, but I heard that in one of the interviews. So by mentioning her, he's not insinuating, in fact, that she is just an investor. What he was insinuating is she is more than just a business partner, therefore she would know everything. Parang asawa na hindi ka asawa. Parang ganun ang essence nung statements niya sa interview.
Hindi ba, Karen, nakakagalit yun? Unang-una, I cannot confirm anything and I will not confirm anything. What I will confirm is that Miss Gretchen
Nakakagalit yun kung hindi totoo.
nakakagal. No, not even if it's totoo, Karen, because it says something about the relationship between a man and a woman. I'm not saying that there's anything there. Pero ibig ba sabihin kung ikaw ay asawa at lalo kay isang asawa na babae, meron kang kinalaman sa lahat ng kalokohan na ginagawa ng asawa mo? And I'm not even weighing in on whether or not Mr. Atong Ang has any participation on this matter. I'm not his lawyer. I'm just monitoring the events. But nakakagalit because, he has no proof of it. Photographs showing, as you said, you were mentioning, doesn't prove what he's saying. It's malicious. Has he seen them? No. What is his basis for saying that he saw them? He hasn't said so. But at the core of his allegations is that precisely that factor, that sensationalized factor, that I think he hopes, as it has captured the imagination of so many to speculate further on. It's unfair. It's untrue. It doesn't mean that Miss Gretchen Barreto has any knowledge about the crime or that she has done anything in relation to that.
So you are separating in effect, no? What you're saying is iba yung personal, iba yung krimen. Yun ang sinasabi po ninyo.
Of course, Karen. Hindi mo pwedeng sasabihin na ang asawa, alam niya lahat ng may nangyayari. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na ang girlfriend, lahat alam ang nangyayari o may kinalaman. And I'm really offended by that insinuation because he has no proof of it. By the way, he was asked, Mr. Whistleblower was asked, do you have any evidence directly? Sinasabi mo mga ito, meron ka bang ebidensya na nagpapatunay sa mga sinasabi mo, maliban sa sinasabi mo? Alam mo ang sagot niya? Ang sabi lang niya, trusted ako eh. Trusted ako kaya alam ko. Yun ba'y ebidensya? And by the way, just to show how I think Mr. Whistleblower is trying to blow up the story for his own personal purposes, meron siyang sinasabi, hindi ba, na ang kanyang anak pa, napakita siya ng picture kung saan parang naging ninong at ninang si Gretchen at saka Mr. Atong Ang doon sa binyag ng kanyang anak. And he said, look, my daughters even named Don Chen Lee. Don after Don Me, Gretchen after Gretchen, and then Lee after Mr. Atong Ang, no? What he did not say was that, yes, his name was Don, but his wife's name is also Gretchen.
Si ang asawa ni Julie Patidongan, asawa niya Gretchen din ang pangalan.
Yes, he didn't
Okay.
say that. Instead, na parang, yung pangalan ng anak ko is after Mr.
Oo.
Gretchen. What? To, again, fuel that kind of speculation is so offensive, actually. Ang masasabi ko, all right,
So
sige.
I wanted to ask you, how does Gretchen Barreto describe Julie Patidongan? Does she know him? Has she met him? Has she seen him?
Of course.
What does she say of him?
She hasn't said a lot about him because he is, like many others, an acquaintance. He, as I said, Karen, is also involved in the e-sabong business as an investor. He's an alpha member himself. I think he's also a B member. If you're an investor, you have to participate in the games. And actually, as you have seen, si Gretchen, ang participation niya, nagpo-promote siya, hindi ba? Nag-release siya ng mga manok. And I understand that she has also participated in competitions. She has won and she has lost.